Hello everyone, Thomas Blue here, back for another video. Today we're going to be unboxing and taking a look at the Pokémon Celebration Express by Lionel. Originally, I was one of the first people to order the train set, and I was one of the first people on Twitter apparently to get the train set. I was hyped, and I opened it, I shot this whole review, and then college hit, and it just buried me in schoolwork. So I was unable to get to this. I wanted to be the first person on YouTube to review this. That hasn't happened now, I can assure you. But I still felt like I had to use this footage, and I had to go through with the review. According to the Pokemon Center website, the description reads, "Now boarding, the Pokemon Celebration Express. Commemorate 25 amazing years of Pokemon, and go full steam ahead with the Pokemon Celebration Express Electric Model Train by Lionel. Featuring Pikachu, Eevee, Mew, Snorlax, and the first partner Pokemon from Kanto to Galar, it makes a uniquely interactive addition to any Pokemon fan's collection. This Pokemon Center exclusive set includes everything you need to set up and control your very own model train. Inside the box is a Pokemon 242 Locomotive and Tender, Pokemon Boxcar with Snorlax inside, Pikachu and Eevee chasing Gondola Car, a Pokemon Tanker Car, a Pokemon Caboose, 8 pieces of Lionel Curved Fast Track, 3 pieces of Lionel Straight Fast Track, 1 Lion Chief Fast Track Terminal section, a wall pack power supply, and the Lion Chief remote for the Locomotive." I'll admit I've never had a Lionel Lion Chief remote control before, so I was a little skeptical, but we'll talk more on that later. With that out of the way, let's take a look at the engine and the tender. Things I'd like to point out is that the engine has a die-cast body, which honestly I wasn't expecting. That's very nice quality on Lionel's part. It's not something you see all that common these days with how plastic is the way to go. The engine has a very nice chunk of weight to it because of that. In contrast to that though, the tender is plastic, very, very light comparatively to the engine. The additions on the engine, I will admit, don't look very good. It's ugly graffiti. I don't like graffiti, and I feel like the engine could have been more Pokemon themed without the cheapness that it feels. Like, I don't like graffiti art in general, but even the graffiti art cuts off due to the printing on the side of the model, which just makes it look unauthentic and cheap. The cab crew could have easily, I think, been Pokemon-themed figures. It could have been Jesse and James, or Ash and Brock, I don't know. But they're just a generic conductor and engineer. I will give them props that the conductor and engineer are... not the conductor, of course. Driver and fireman are red and blue, respectively, but I don't know if that was intentional. The engine lacks proper handrails, which is cheap looking on a $400+ model, I will admit. The gray on the body is jarring. I would have preferred black. The engine has working smoke and headlights, which I do like. I will give props to Lionel for giving the tender a metal coupling. That's something you don't see too often from them anymore. Overall, I am not impressed with the engine. It's good, but I wouldn't say it's $400 good. Moving on to the first piece of rolling stock is a boxcar. The boxcar looks very nice. I feel like they could have made it themed to the world of Pokemon, like Moo Moo Milk or something. But the vibrant colors popping on the boxcar look beautiful. It looks great. It's one of my favorite... You know what? It hands down is my favorite boxcar that I own. Things I was very surprised about is that it has a separately fitted ladder and handbrake. It has a sliding door which reveals Snorlax inside, which was a big surprise to me. But I will admit that if Snorlax was a 3D figure, it would have looked a lot nicer. Because as a cardboard cutout, it does look, well, again, cheap. And on a $400 model, cheap's not what I want to keep saying. The boxcar feels very heavy and sturdy, like most of it is metal. It feels like if you dropped it, it wouldn't break, but I'm not testing that theory. And again, it has metal couplings, which is really impressive to see in modern times with Lionel, so I give that a pass. The boxcar is definitely my favorite piece from the set. Moving on to the Gondola Car. Again, it feels kind of heavy and weighty. I will give them props. It feels sturdy. Again, if you dropped it, I can see it surviving. Again, don't drop your trains. I've learned the hard way. Rest in peace, Bachman Henry #1. The crates on the car are very nice. They're detailed well. I'll give them props for that. However, the action of Pikachu and Eevee running around the carts isn't great. It looks nice in motion, but Pikachu and Eevee should be figures. Having prominent characters on the outside of the train that aren't paintings should be 3D. It's 2021, and it's a $400+ train set. I don't think it would have been that hard for them to get really small 3D printed looking pieces of Pikachu and Eevee and stuck them on there. They don't look bad in motion, and I love the Pokemon Center art style of the characters, but having cardboard cutouts run around a thing isn't great. But if you're gonna pay $400+ for a train, it should be to a certain standard of quality that Lionel seems to lack. I'll go out on saying on the Gondola Car that it does have metal couplings. I do like that. Overall, it's an okay piece, but the flat aesthetic of Pikachu and Eevee don't look good. Moving on, taking a look at the tanker car. The main body is plastic, but everything else is metal. The footplate, the ladders, everything else is metal, and I respect that highly. I think it feels heavy, it feels authentic, it feels like quality. And that's what I want from a model train of this price range. I don't mind that the middle is plastic because everything else is metal and feels like it will last the test of time. I give them insane props for somehow not doing this on the engine, but on this tanker, they decided to put separately fitted handrails, which look beautiful because handrails always look beautiful on an engine or any freight car. Handrails look great when they're actual handrails. When they're molded to the body, it always looks awkward lumps of plastic. I'm looking at you, every Bachman, Thomas, Tender, Engine, and Duck, and Oliver, especially Oliver, oh god. This is a water tanker for the water Pokemon, and that looks nice. I feel like they could have gone with something like Moo Moo Milk, but again, for the anniversary set, it is what it is. And again, the tanker has metal couplings. I give it props for that. Looking at last, we'll get a look at the Caboose. It's a very nice Caboose, I'll give it that. It looks beautiful. I like the paint on it. It has electric lighting if it's on the track and it's night and it's lit up. It looks great. I would like to have seen a lot more Pokemon on this Caboose. If you're gonna have the fire, grass, water, and then this one with like Mew and Pikachu, like the quote-unquote fan favorites, I would have liked to have seen either evolutions of starters or Pokemon like Lucario, but I would have liked to have seen more quote-unquote fan favorite Pokemon. That would have boosted the Caboose, I think, in my opinion. It had a metal couplings, and again, I can't fault it. It's really nice build, but it's very bland compared to the other rolling stock. This is actually my first ever train set with a Lion Chief remote control, and I've seen reviews of the Thomas engines with Lion Chief, and they looked fun. I prefer the hand-controlled Transformer because that just feels like authentic train sets to me. Having a television remote in your hand to control the trains is convenient, but it takes away a little bit from the train experience. Because in a train room, you sit at a controller and that's the control panel. The biggest fault I can find with it is the lack of individuality. They stamp Pikachu's face on the controller. I know in the Thomas controller, that's the top of my hat, talks to you, or in the newest ones, CGI over Thomas talks to you. But there's no unique sounds in the Pokemon one. The train chuffing sounds, you got some generic dude yelling about whether or not the signal is clear. And there's only like 2 lines for that. And then that's it. Yeah, but there's the whistle, there's the bell too. There's no Pikachu, there's no Pokemon sound effects, there's no fanfare. For a 25th anniversary train set, that's my biggest problem. There's no fanfare. It feels very by the books. With that out of the way, let's take a look at the train running. It's very nice, don't get me wrong, and it looks beautiful. You'll see in a second when it's running. But I feel like Lionel could have stepped up the game on this one, and they didn't. So what are my final thoughts on this train set? It's a good train set. It's a good O-scale train set. The chuffing, the smoke, the light, it looks nice. I think they could have done a lot better for $400. Like, just look how much life is brought to the set when you add a few Pokemon figures. It looks so much more authentic to the world of Pokemon. It would have been nice or cool to have maybe Meowth standing on the footplate of the engine or something like that. Something unique. But they didn't do that. I feel like the engine mold is old and cheap. The cardboard cutouts inside the boxcar and in the Gondola Car do look cheap. I don't think the train's bad. I think it looks nice as a train set, but I think it could have done more for $400. Do I recommend this train set? Well, that depends. If you like Pokemon, you'll have a lot of fun if you never played with trains. It's great fun. I'm biased, of course. And if you like trains and not Pokemon, then I don't know. If you like Pokemon and trains like I do, it's a match made in heaven. It's a no-brainer. You gotta buy it. But if you only like trains, there's a lot better trains on the market for $400. While it has its flaws, it's still a lot of fun to play with, just like any train set. I'd like you to all have a great day, and thank you all for watching. See you in the next video, everyone.